Well, this afternoon, government said security agencies are on high alert to deal with any act that threatens the peace and stability of the country. The caution comes in the wake of fresh charges of treason felony leveled against a leading member of the Fix the Country movement, Barker-Vormawor. Today, Mr. Vormawor was picked up last Friday after he took to social media to threaten a coup. Here's court correspondent Joseph Akable with a wrap of today's proceedings.
Justice is not served. Justice is not served. In the course of this land rise, everybody deserves the same treatment as a country.
We want a new Ghana. That's the only thing we are asking for. A new Ghana.
DSP Sylvester Asari informed the court that some time ago the police received a complaint that Fix the Country campaigner Barker-Vormawor intended to incite persons to engage in a coup. He said investigation did reveal that he indeed carried out this incitement on social media. So this is what formed the basis of the charge of treason felony leveled against him. Mr. Barker's lawyers, led by Akoto Ampao, informed the court that as far as they are concerned, the police had breached his rights in that they failed to put him before court within 48 hours. And the response from DSP Sylvester Asari was that they had attempted and reached out to the Chief Justice's office to find out if there was a court that will sit and hear the matter on Sunday, but that was not successful. Hence, the decision to bring him to court on Monday. So Mr. Barker's request for bail was turned down and he was remanded into police custody to reappear on February 28th. As some of his colleagues at Pitch Camp here have been sharing their thoughts with us.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It is very devastating what is happening in the country now. Ghana is a democratic country. We all admit to that fact. But what is happening now, Ghana is turning to be a banana republic. What is happening now is too much, okay? And the youth of Ghana, you can see from the people that Ghana is rising. The youth of this country are saying they are not happy with whatever that is going on. Akufo-Addo is the father of the land. And if indeed Akufo-Addo call us all as fellow Ghanaians, we have risen. And all we are saying is justice must be served. Coup does not mean you are going to vote against the government. They should go to the constitution, what you call the dictionary, and check the meaning of coup. He never said he's going to organize a military coup. Oliver Barker is not a military officer. Oliver has never had any military training anywhere. He just made a comment that he is going to organize an e-coup. What is e-coup, Mr. Bawumia? Which comments, Mr. President, haven't you heard in this country?
He said.
You said it yourself. What is the meaning of all die be die, Mr. President? What is happening now in this country is sending this country in a ditch.
Based on social media, you can use social media to judge someone. Because the state, some before I send the message, you know, I'm influenced, I'm mabo, I'm anonymous. Be a drug addict, collaborate me, I send the message. And this Mr. IGP, say IGP, echo based only on social media, and here over Jumaya.
Sure, thank you.
Because
thank you. So thank you.
The start send the message, you know. Who needs situation pakrom, be a no.
For joining news from the Ashaman District Court, my name is Joseph Akable.
Well, earlier today, pressure group One Ghana Movement released a statement cautioning the police to ensure professionalism in handling the case. They are demanding that the Fix the Country convener, Barker-Vormawor, be accorded his full rights under the Constitution and treated with human dignity. Well, joining us via Zoom now is Justice Abdullah. He is a member of the Management Steering Committee of the One Ghana Movement. Thanks so much, sir, for joining us. We also have the Deputy Defense Minister, who will be joining us very shortly as well. We'll introduce all of them to you. And one of the members of the Fix the Country movement will give us the latest with regards to Barker-Vormawor. But let's start off with you, Justice Abdullah. In one breath, you are calling on Ghanaians to be mindful about the statement they put out there in regards to issues surrounding coup d'etats. And you're stemming all of your claims from what is happening in the SAB region. But on another hand, you are then going ahead to you're then a bit going hard on the Ghana Police Service for not respecting the rights of Barker-Vormawor. So which of these claims do we stick to?
Sorry, hello.
Well, Justice, I'm just asking about the various streams of argument you're making in one statement that you've released earlier this afternoon. You are, on one hand, asking the general public to be circumspect in their speech, and on another, you are asking the Ghana Police Service to accord Oliver Barker-Vormawor with all the rights that he deserves. So which one do we stick to? Well, it appears that we're having some challenges connecting to Justice Abdullahi. Very shortly, we'll have him on. But fortunately, the Deputy Defense Minister, Kofi Amankwa-Amenu, is also joining us. In fact, he stated earlier today that government will deal with any act that threatens the peace and stability of this country. Many thanks, sir, for joining us. So first of all, you have condemned the statements made by Oliver Barker-Vormawor. There are claims that he did not refer to a military coup. How do you respond to that?
Well, thank you very much. It is laughable when people seek to give different meanings to what a coup is. I mean, we all live in this country. We all know what a coup is. And what the gentleman said, making even reference to the military and saying that the military is useless. What again do we need to measure what he said? We must be serious and choose serious as we can. I have been following. In fact, I am on my way. I traveled a little bit. I'm on my way back to Accra, and I have been following the goings just as I switched on to your station. In all fairness, I believe that yes, this country is being governed by laws. We have a constitution that we govern this country by. And so the gentleman must be accorded all the rights that is entitled to. That, no two ways about that. And nobody, I mean, really, that is what has to happen. He must be accorded the right. But people must begin to appreciate the fact that we have laws in this country. I mean, if you saw the interview granted to some people at the court premises, people saying that, yes, depending on the state you are in, you can put out anything you want. And now people are saying he meant equal and all that. If he meant equal, then I think that he also meant armed forces. If that is what he is saying, it is laughable. The laws in this country must work.
You are at the Defense Ministry. Obviously, you are mindful of what's happening within the SAP region. There are concerns that you are gradually radicalizing the Fix the Country movement, and that could have dire security implications for the country. How about that?
I would disagree with that assertion that we are radicalizing. Nobody is radicalizing the Fix the Country movement. They have the right within the ambit of the Constitution to do whatever they want to do. But they must be mindful also that the Constitution that grants them the right to do whatever they want to do, the same Constitution also has some checks and balances in there to really check what every Ghanaian does. I don't think we are radicalizing, but the fact of the matter is that the laws in this country must work. And if the laws in this country are working and we think that amounts to radicalization, then really I don't even understand. Then there shouldn't be laws.
Well, if I could help you a bit, there are many people who are out there reminding you of some of the recent attacks on not just civil society groups, but also the media as well. How we see a crackdown on free speech. That's the criticism that's always facing or staring government in the face.
Again, I would disagree with those who think there is a crackdown on free speech. You are a journalist working in your studios and working within the laws. I don't think anybody has come to you. I don't think anybody has even called you to question why you are practicing journalism. I don't think that is what it is. But if you go out there and incite people to topple a democratically elected government under the pretense of whatever, because you disagree with the government, I don't think that is the way to go. I don't think so. We have a country. If you disagree, the very things you disagree with the government.
We seem to be having some challenges with the Deputy Defense Minister there. But if you can hear me, well, we'll try and re-establish the lines there. Also joining me this afternoon is Brownson Adachi. He's a member of the Fix the Country movement. So Brownson, you had the Deputy Defense Minister there indicating that there's no crackdown on your group and that irrespective of the fact that you have constitutional grounds to do what it is you're doing, you need to be mindful of the laws of this country.
Okay, so this is it. We understand that the security agencies and then forces would have to do their works as well. But there would have to be some sort of ideological contestation over the context of Oliver's post. Now, I understand that there have been resurgence of coup d'etat in the West African countries or in the African regions these days. But it is the mere mention of coup, the mere mention of the word coup, because Oliver stated that if the e-levy is passed after the e-cake, whatever, he will lead the coup himself. Now, what does he mean by that? We've not had an ideological contestation over the contest. And we have concluded, because we are living under our own shadows and we are afraid of our own performances in government. So we think everything that people say means the other way around. Now, Oliver made some posts before, some other posts before that particular post. And in that post, he clearly stated that Fix the Country is working together with other tax experts outside the country or international tax experts and then international lawyers to go more deeper into the e-levy fiscal policy. Now, and he stated that if the e-levy bill is passed, then he is going to work together with those international bodies to have a clear cut of what should be done. And he stated there that this is a huge coup. Now, what does it mean when we say coup?
Well, the internet appears not to be too favorable for us today, but let's go back and see if we have Justice Abdullahi on. Earlier, he was joining us to explain what it is that the One Ghana movement intends to do about this. Justice Abdullahi, if you're on with us, so on one breath, you are asking the police service to accord Oliver Barker-Vormawor with his rights that he deserves under law. And on one hand as well, you are also cautioning the public to be mindful of the statements they put out there. Which of them do we stick to?
Indeed, we stick to the various positions that we have addressed. We are attempting to address this whole issue holistically by indicating to the general public that being responsible citizens, we all have a duty to protect our democracy. And as part of those duties is to ensure that we use more decent words in addressing our issues. We use the appropriate legal procedures that are available in advancing our argument. And where we have disagreements with authorities, we should adopt those laid down procedures rather than using procedures that could result in conflict or any other thing that would not inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian. So that is our first position. Our second position is that regardless of the crime that a person is alleged to have committed in this country, the police and other security agencies owe all of us that same responsibility for which reason they arrested the person, to ensure that the person is accorded his full constitutional right. Now, we said this because we noticed that Oliver had been denied access to his lawyers and indeed to his family and friends. And as far as we are concerned, that is highly unconstitutional, it is undemocratic, and it is indeed against any principles of rule of law. It is a cardinal principle in our constitutional democracy that every person, once arrested, be given access to his lawyers. Indeed, it is part of the procedures in arresting a person. And so for the police to deprive him of that right, for us, we condemn it in totality. And we insist that being a citizen of this republic, he must be accorded that right. And then our last position is to the entirety of Ghanaians, that we owe this country a duty to not only protect the fundamentals of our republic, i.e. the Constitution and all other things that put our welfare together as citizens of this country. In addressing our concerns, we should ensure that we do so with the civility that it requires and follow the legal laid-down procedures. This is the only way we can develop our country. It is the best way we can develop our country, and not to incite passion and flame, and indeed conduct ourselves such that it would then motivate someone to do their own thoughts. We do not think that is the most appropriate thing to do. And addressing Oliver's issue directly. Go ahead.
Obviously, the concerns that you have with the Ghana Police Service is not stemming from a vacuum. There's some suspicion that you have.
Absolutely not.
Is it the case that you suspect that government is gradually cracking down on free speech? At least the Deputy Minister has denied that. What's your take on that?
Oh, with respect to that aspect of this issue, even though that's not the point of this discussion, we need to believe that there is a systematic way that the government is attempting to gag not just media personnel, but also the entirety of Ghanaians. And we believe we are the use of the new law on publication of falsehood is gradually being used for the unintended purpose. We do not think that that is the law as it was couched was targeted at any other form of false publication. It was specific in its intent. And now it is being used to literally tag almost everyone who makes a false information. I think that's a misuse and misinformation. In fact, it's a complete misuse of that law, and we do not think it's the most appropriate thing to do. We think seriously that we have to look at the intent of the law carefully and ensure that we achieve the object for which that particular that provision was set out. We do not think that, we are getting to the stage where literally if you do not take care and you make any comment that amounts to falsehood, whether directly or indirectly, whether deliberate or otherwise, even if it is a domestic, you could be falling foul of this particular law. And that is not the intention of this law. The intention of the law was clearly stated in the preamble, and indeed also in the aspect of the. If you read the law, you could clearly see that it was targeted at comments that could trigger the security of this nation to be in jeopardy, not necessarily any comment that amounts to falsehood. That is not the intention of this particular act. That particular provision of the law, and the way the government is using it now is really scary. It's very scary. We all have to be worried about it.
Very shortly, we'll get the response of the Deputy Defense Minister on that. But you're a lawyer yourself, without prejudice to the case before court. Were you expecting in the first place that Oliver Barker-Vormawor, who's also a lawyer, would go to the extent of using the word coup, quote unquote?
I think we indeed addressed that matter by stating categorically that not just is Oliver a lawyer, he has also played a significant role in I believe the Constitutional Review Commission's work, and I understand he's also a researcher in law. Clearly, Oliver is a quality resource, a good material that we can benefit from in this country, and I believe he has been doing so much, particularly using the Fix the Country movement. He's a very solid material that I think we can rely on. And it is indeed based on that particular background alone that I least expected that Oliver would make any comment close to a coup or anything that would amount to throwing away the Constitution that gives him the right to even make those comments in the first place. Oh. I think he's way above the kind of comment that he made. I think it's a low moment for me for him to have made those comments. However, unlawful or justifiable he thinks they are. I didn't expect that.
Right. And if you would just hold the lines for us briefly, obviously you're concerned about the implications for national security as well, but I want to bring in the Deputy Defense Minister, Kofi Amankwa-Manu, who's also on with us. Said initially the line went off when you were making the point about how government is rather protecting free speech. How so?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, so we can hear you now.
Yes, I listened to the last speaker, and I agreed with him on some of the concerns he made. But I think that where I disagree with him is where he is suggesting that the government is seeking to use the law to, as you said, to crack down on free speech. I think that many people, if you go on social media, if you go on radio and all the posts.
Kofi Amankwa-Manu, if you can hear me, it appears that we're having difficulty hearing you, but if you could just go ahead and make the point one more time. Let's see if the lines will be favorable. Well, so Brownson, give us an update on this before we come back to Justice Abdullahi. What can you say about the status of Oliver Barker-Vormawor, who's the leader of the your group, Fix the Country? We understand that is on a hunger strike. How true is that, and how's that really affecting him?
Okay, great. So that is repeatedly, that is the information we also got when some of our members visited, that he's been on hunger strike from the time of his abduction or arrest till now. For now, he's been touched, and then he would have to come back to court or reappear in court on the 28th of February. So I think for now, we would have to sit back with our lawyers and then devise means on how to handle issues. Now, our main concern here is the clear breach of the laws on detention of persons in public, in police custody. Okay, we are very much worried. You know, this is exposing our democracy and our Syrian system, because we are not saying the police shouldn't do their work. No, we understand that the police would have to do whatever they have to do, but in doing that, that should be done professionally, and I think everyone is talking about that. And also, we will beseech that if we all are concurring that the rule of law, which states that the law should be applied equally and fairly, then I think everyone who have ever made any comment that amounts to a certain crime should be, or that disturbs the tranquility of this nation, should be picked up for investigation, and then they should also be arraigned before court.
What does this arrest mean to the movement? Are you going to slow down on your activism?
No, this is in no way affecting our activism. I think it's a better lesson for us, and then for the whole group, and then the Ghanaian populace as well. It is exposing a lot of things. It's exposing the rot in the system, because we've seen some unprofessionalism over the days, over these few days, and it's exposing a lot on our democracy. You know, when we say democracy, democracy is not only about free and fair elections, but it's about how we apply justice to issues and as well. So I think this has rather come to strengthen the group, and then we seek a better system for Ghana, not to collapse the system or not to preach war. We rather want the best for this nation. I think that is what it has come to do. Okay.
Brownson, one more criticism that we often hear of, the claim that you are becoming increasingly extreme as a group. You're making demands that are going beyond the norms and the remits of the Constitution. Is that the case, that the Fix the Country movement is gradually becoming a group of radical persons?
No. I think over the days or over the months since our activism started or campaign started, we've shown or proved to Ghanaians that we are law-abiding citizens, and we are also working within the remit of the law. If not, we would have done a whole lot of things that are not expected. But we've been together, and what we are only asking for is that the leadership is not taking us serious. It's not taking Ghanaians serious. You know, in as much as we understand that this is a representative government, therefore the voice of the people should matter a lot. But this is not what is happening. It is the other way around. And that is what we want fixed. We want a new Ghana and a fixed system, a system that will project a better democracy to the world.
Brownson, we'll get back to you. Justice Abdullahi will also tell us about the implications from the perspective of the One Ghana movement. I understand now that the Deputy Defense Minister is joining us now on phone. We're having challenges earlier with a Zoom connection. Let's see if that will be better now. Hello, sir. So let's touch on the implications for national security. What's the strategy really from the Defense Ministry in de-escalating the situation? The concern for a lot of security experts is that if you do not handle the Fix the Country movement properly, there is a likelihood that they may take inspiration from what's happening in the sub-region. What are you doing about this? Yes, and for you, Justice Abdullahi, you were talking about the implications for national security, if we could hear you on that.
Hello?
Yes, Justice, you can go ahead with the point.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Your line dropped.
Yes, Justice, I was asking about the implications for national security. You pointed out in your statement that if we do not take care, that could become a challenge for us.
Indeed. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, go ahead. Yes. Okay, so let's try now, Kofi Amankwamenu. Hello, sir. So we had a challenge earlier, but I'm just asking about the national security strategy. What is that you're doing at the Defense Ministry to deal with the concerns that if you do not take care, the Fix the Country movement could become a group of extreme persons, and they may take inspiration from what's happening in the sub-region?
First of all, I believe in the professionalism of the Ghana police. I believe in the professionalism of our courts. I don't think that the courts will go out of their way to interpret the law differently. I believe that they will do the right thing. And from the Ministry of Defense point of view, we are looking closely at issues as they come up, and then we will devise strategies to deal with such issues. I believe that every Ghanaian has a right, but we must also know that every right comes with a responsibility, and nobody is prepared to trample upon anybody's right. But what we will do is to protect, and that I have often said that I have so much confidence in the Ghana Armed Forces. They will protect and defend the constitution of our country and make sure that every Ghanaian goes about his or her duties in peace. We want a united Ghana, and I don't think that anybody is out there to kind of get at anybody. No. We are monitoring situation, and as and when they come up, we will devise strategy to deal with. But again, I respect that the police and our courts will do the right thing.
Earlier, when you granted an interview on Joy News, you then proceeded to talk about the opposition party, the NDC. Why connect the NDC to all that's happening in the country now?
Well, it depends. I don't know in what context that you are saying I connected the NDC. I had a program and I was interviewed.
Yes, precisely. For instance, you go ahead to talk about the General Secretary of the party for
because I was making reference to what the General Secretary said.
Right.
That had to do with Parliament. That if they were going to take slaps to prevent the Deputy Speaker of Parliament from voting, they would do that. That is, I think, what I commented on, and said that the Parliament is not a boxing arena. If really Parliament were to be a boxing arena, I don't think I have the muscles to go to Parliament. We go to Parliament to draw, disagree to agree, so we can push the Ghana agenda forward. But if the General Secretary, who also happens to be a member of the Parliamentary Service Board, saying that if they will have to take slap to prevent the Deputy Speaker from voting, I think that really was below the belt. That was an unfortunate statement coming from such a personality. I think that is what I said.
And just as we wrap up on this conversation, how would you assure Ghanaians that all of these recent happenings will not further escalate and that the country is safe and secure?
First of all, I have already said that I believe in the loyalty, I believe in the professionalism, I believe in the commitment of the Ghana Armed Forces. And the Ghana Armed Forces will do everything possible to protect our country and protect our constitution. Again, I respect the professionalism, as I said, of the police and the court. And I believe they will do the right thing. We want a peaceful country. I can assure every Ghanaian that they can go about their normal duty because the army is prepared to do that for which they are there to do. And so nobody should be afraid that we're going to have problems. You see, sometimes we say that things are happening in the sub-region, and so yes, things are happening in the sub-region. We are monitoring all the happenings in the sub-region, and you see, the circumstances are different. Really, the circumstances are different. And so nobody should be afraid to think that it has happened in Burkina, it has happened in Mali, Guinea, and so we are sitting down doing nothing. We are monitoring, all the intelligence agencies are monitoring all the happenings in the sub-region. And so Ghana is well protected. Our men in uniform are prepared to defend this country.
I'm grateful. Kofi Amankwa Menu is the Deputy Defense Minister.